So my name is Tamiqua Leepers Rhodes, and I graduated in 1999. I played volleyball for Coach Humphrey 4 years, and then I worked extremely closely. I ran track for about a year and a half, 2 years, something like that. And I was like, Coach, I don't have the heart for track. So volleyball was my thing. But I had a lot of friends that ran track. I enjoyed being with her, spending more time with her. So then I asked her if I could be one of her managers. And so I became her head track and field manager. I learned a whole lot from her. But I remember like very, very early on what I learned from her because I was a captain on the volleyball team. And then for track, like I said, I was her head manager at some point. So she taught me leadership skills. And everything that we did, even at a young age, it was about business. Like, we want to take care of business. When we show up, if it's for a competition, for a game, or we're going to a track meet, it was business. And so I've been able to carry that with myself throughout life. Like, whenever I show up, I'm serious. So a lot of times when everybody see her, they was like, go Coach Humphrey, and people kind of fall back. It's because she's about business. And that's something that she taught me too. And so that's something, like I said, the leadership skills, she started teaching me things at a very early age. I was following behind her as a head manager. Wherever she was going, I had to be right there with her. If she told me to go take care of the girls and go do this, I had to go do exactly what she told me to do. So being able to be coachable, be able to follow directions, like I said, be responsible, show up on time, all of those things. And so that's how she impacted, one of them anyways, how she impacted me. I was homecoming queen. She knew I was going to be homecoming queen. She told my mom that I had won homecoming queen. She went to the librarian because that's who was running, the court, the ballots and everything. And so once the student body voted, Coach Humphrey went to the librarian at the time, Miss Fowler, and she said, Miss Fowler, I need to know. I need to know because if Tamiqua, if she won, I need to tell her mama so we can have her together. We need to know this. So she had a little way of finding out information, and she found out that I had won ahead of time. I knew nothing about it, didn't know at all. And this is something, of course, that her and my mom, they told me after the fact. But she called my mom and she said, look, Tamiqua, she's on the homecoming court, but she won a vote. She needs to be pretty. You need to go get her a nice dress. You need to have her together. It was a big, big, big deal. And so that's something that I would never, ever forget because she had a spirit of discernment, but she had that motherly instinct that you see something in your girls that go through your program that they don't even see in themselves, especially at a very, very young age. It wasn't that I did not have any confidence in anything in myself. I thought I was, average girl, you cute, you pretty. But when she told me how beautiful I was, you should smile, hold your head up high, be confident in who you are. Those are things that she saw in me before like I said, I saw them in myself. So when I won homecoming court and they announced my name and I had on this blue dress, like it was beautiful. But anyways, it was a blue dress and the lights hitting it. It was like this whole big deal, right? Like I was a beauty queen. And then later on that year, that was homecoming. And then later on that year, I was Miss Lancaster High School. So, but again, me being a captain, me being homecoming queen, me being her head track manager. Then I was Miss Lancaster High School. It was like I didn't see myself as being a leader because a lot of times kids, you don't know that you're a leader. Your peers kind of pick you up to be the leader, but she saw that in me. And so I never forget those things. So when I look at those pictures, I can remember what it felt like each of those moments. That's something I'm very proud of. Like, I'm happy to say I was Miss Lancaster High School. And then she told me one time, I gotta say this, she told me one time, because at one point, when I decided I wasn't gonna run track anymore, I was considering going to cosmetology. And she was like, look, you ain't going to cosmetology and you ain't doing no hair. You're going to Prairie View A&M University and you're gonna run for Miss Prairie View. And I was like, okay, so again, she saw something that was in me. So what did I do? I did go to Prairie View A&M University. I didn't run for Miss Prairie View, but I did make the homecoming court while I was there at Prairie View. And then I also was in a scholarship pageant. I believe I talked about resilience. So again, being so young, you don't always know what that is, but that was something that I didn't know that that's what it was at that time and what it means to kind of like have grit, what it means to be strong. She taught us how to fight. Like what I mean, how to fight. Like you're very passionate. When you go into your games, you want to win. We had pride, we had tradition. But when we didn't win and we came up short, that was a struggle. That was a fight. How do we go? And I mean, our competitors who we played against, they hated us. Those were our rivalries. So when you lose to a rivalry school, you gotta be strong when that game is over or that competition is over. So she taught us when we would go to the locker rooms after we lost the game, we would cry, we would boo, we was upset because we wanted to win. We had a passion, a love for the game, volleyball. And when my friends ran track, they laid their hearts out on the track. It was just in us, right? But we held our head up high. When it was over, we had great sportsmanship. We knew how to suck it up for the moment. We knew how to not let our competitors see us sweat. So she taught us that. But again, how do you deal with it? You take it. You don't give up. You keep pushing. You don't let it break you. You keep going. And so that's something that very early on, she was teaching us how to have that within us, And it comes from a place, but one thing she tells us, we have intestinal fortitude. There's something that's inside of us that when it comes down to it, we know how to push through it. And we want something so bad, we know how to fight for it. But we don't have to let anybody else see the tears, see the pain, see the sorrow, see, me broken or anything like that. And so now when I look at my adulthood and, I live life and, a few moments ago just kind of talking about my experiences and what I've learned again, I am very resilient. And I don't have to let anybody else know what broke me. And it's okay if they do. I mean, I don't have a problem with being vulnerable. But she was teaching us that at a very young age. Because at our time, we was dealing with a lot of, we would go to the games and some of the other teams, we were black girls playing volleyball. And when they would see us, they would mistreat us sometimes. The names that they would call us. But she still taught us to have pride, to hold our head up. That's hard. That's very hard to experience that as kids. Go to another school and they do things to you just because you're black. But you're just as good as they are, But if she didn't teach us that, she was preparing us. She's Beverly Day Humphrey. Once you know her, and I remember just being about 14 years old. Yeah, freshman year. And at the time, Lancaster was predominantly white. And so when we met her, she's black, she's beautiful, she looked just like us. She gonna coach us. She gonna teach us how to play volleyball. So when you see that, immediately she captivated our hearts. She was able to pull us in. So And that was something that up until now, I mean, I've always was connected with her. I always kind of had a part of her from the very moment. Like I said, when I felt like I didn't have anybody else to go to, or I couldn't go to my mom to talk to my mom about this, she always had a way of me being able to be vulnerable and opening up to her. I could be raw. I could tell her exactly what I was going through. And that's one of the many ways of how she made a difference. She believed in me when everybody else may have ruled me out or counted me out. She saw something in me that maybe nobody else at the time saw. And even when I went out to college and I came back and decided I wanted to work, again, I always knew that I could go to her, and I knew that she was gonna keep it real. She was gonna tell me exactly what I needed to hear. If it was something that I didn't want to hear from my mom, what my mama would tell me, that's exactly what she would tell me, you know? And that's one of, again, the many ways of how she just made a difference. And to this day, even just in my career, she sees something in me and she knows what I'm capable of doing. And she put me out there. So that's just believing in me makes a difference. From the very beginning, like I said, captivated me at a very young age, and me just looking up to her and just how she carried herself and that discernment that she have and that motherly instinct that she has. She just believed in me, and she had nothing but love to give, not just to me, but to many of the girls that came through her program. She's definitely pure. She's a realist. She is loving. She is a giver. How many words is that for? She has grit, she has determination, she is resilient, she is a fighter, she is a champion, she is a winner. I mean, I could keep going. I could keep going. She's a legend. And it show up. It's been showing up. To consistently do what you do, and do what you do, and do what you do, number one, you have to be loving. You got to have something within you in order to contribute and give back to the world, to give back to her girls. When I say her girls, not just us, but her girls, the many, and not just girls, there's so many kids and people that she have impacted. That comes from love. That comes from her pure heart. And that's Beverly Day Humphrey. I would tell her thank you. One way of telling her thank you, I don't even have to open my mouth. I just give her a big hug. And we're huggers, so just hug it out. And through that, she knows, thank you. And I always tell her thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Always. Because sometimes her being who she is, people that don't have that relationship with her, they only just see the outside of, what accolades are, what she's done with the program, the achievements that she's made, that's it. They don't really get a chance to really get to see her heart, who she is. So I thank her all the time. I mean, and it's not just a thank you. If she asks for something, I'm gonna do my best to get it to her, because that's my way of telling her, showing my gratitude. I appreciate you for everything that you've done, all that you continue to do. And if she feel like she don't have nobody, I make sure I let her know, I am here for you. You have always been there for me. If I need you for anything, you're gonna pick up the phone. If I need to get that honest feedback or just honest input or keeping it real, whatever it is that I need, she's always there for me. And I thank her for that. Believing in me, I thank her for that. Seeing something in me that I didn't see in myself at a very early age, kind of laying out some of the things that I didn't even see in my own future. I thank her for that. you know, for being that mom to me when I needed my mom, wasn't sure how to go to my mom. Thank you for that. Love her dearly. Her heart is pure. I know her pain, the struggles that she have gone through. I was able to go to her and cry with her. Whatever I needed to cry with her about, she was able to come to me. We cried together, and I thank her for that. And I'm gonna keep thanking her for that. I mean, you know, just being in her presence, just thank you. However I can show her, thank you.